Hello, scholars, and welcome to Homework with Mr. Ray. So, what you need to do is answer all of the problems by yourself first. That way, you can see if you're on the right track, and then you can check your work. All right, so let's go. A sign in front of the roller coaster say, "You must be 40 inches tall to ride." What percentage of the height is 34 inches, and what percentage is 54 inches? So I know you must be 40 inches. So 40 inches is the total. And we know that's 100%. What we need to find is what percentage is 34 out of 40, and what percentage is 54 out of 40. So to solve, I'm going to use two methods to solve. The first method is a table because I want you all to be able to organize your thoughts in a representation such as a table. So we know we're talking about height and percentages. And the percentage we know is that 40 inches is 100%. And we got to figure out what 34% is. However, we know there's no multiplicative relationship between 34 and 40, so we need to put that right here. And a friendly factor that goes into both 34 and 40 is 2. And to get from 40 to 2, you divide by 20, and 100 divided by 20 is 5. So what that tells me is that for every 2 inches, it's 5%. And now we got to figure out how to get from 2 to 34. Well, I know that 2 goes into 30 15 times. So 2 goes into 32 16 times. 2 goes into 34 17 times. So that's times 17. And 5 times 17. It's 85. So that means it's 85%. Another way to look at it is saying how much out of what total, right? So like, let's write that down. All right. So we know that we're trying to figure out what percentage is 34 out of 40, right? Which means 34 divided by 40. Then you can use your calculator. And we know that 0.85 is 85 out of 100, which means it's 85%. So I solved the first one. Do the same thing for the second one. All right, so this is graded. All right, let's go here. At a hardware store, a tool set normally costs $80. During the sale, the tool set costs $12 less than usual. What percentage of the usual price is the savings? Let's write that down. Original price is $80. Sale is $12 less. So we need to subtract 80. Subtract 12 from 80. And then what percentage of the usual price is the savings? What percentage of the usual price is the savings? So I guess, what is that asking? Hmm. We know the usual price is 80. So I guess if the usual price is 80, then what percentage off is new price? Okay. Um, First we need to subtract 80 from 12. So now it's $60. Um, let's see her. So $68 is the new price. So to figure out what percentage, um, $68 out of 80. So we could also look at it like a table. We know that $80 is 100%. We know we need to figure out what percentage is $68. There's a multiplicative, what's the multiplicative relationship between 80 and 68? So I know 32. To get from 80 to 2 is to divide by 40. 100 over 40. And to get from 2 to 68 is to multiply by 34. And 1 over 40 is 10/4 times 34, which is 340 divided by 4. 4 go 8 times, 32. And then 4 goes into 25. So it looks like it's 85%. So let's look at it. Yep. And we know that 68 out of 80 is 0.85. And we know to turn our decimals into a percent is multiplied by 100. So it's 85% of original price. I was very quiet around here. So let's see what I did. To get from 80 to 2, I divided by 40. To get from 100 to 40 is 100 divided by 40, which is also equivalent to 10 over 4. And we know our fraction is being multiplied by 34. So 10 over 4 times 34 is 340 over 4. And 340 divided by 4 is 85. How did I know that? Because 4 goes into 34 8 times, and then they're subtracted by 2, and then it will be 2 and a 0, and 4 goes into 25 times, thus I have 85. So that's how I figured that out. Okay, and here is the answer. A bathtub can hold 80 gallons of water. The faucet flows at a rate of 4 gallons per minute. What percentage of the tub will be filled after 6 minutes? So what do we know? We know that tub holds total of 80 gallons. The rate is 4 gallons per minute. And what percentage of the tub we're trying to find? What percentage of tub is filled in 6 minutes? Okay, so I'm comparing, so here's what we know. Gallons, minute, so gallons, minute, percentage. We know that 80 gallons is an unknown amount of minutes, and we know that's 100%. Okay, we're trying to find, we know that it's 4 gallons per minute, and we don't know what that percentage is. But we can find out what that percentage is. Because to go from 80 to 4 is to divide 20. And 100 divided by 20 is 1 divided by 20 is 5. We know to go from 100 to 5 is divided by 20, which means 5 times 20 is 100. Thus, 1 times 20. Due to this information, we know that with this rate, we can fill an 80-gallon tub in 20 minutes. We also know that that's 100%, right? We found the unit rate of 4 gallons per minute, and we need to figure out how much of the tank is filled with 6 minutes. So you need to ask yourself, why did I put 6 here? And how could you fill the rest of this in? So you're going to fill the rest of this chart in, and you're going to answer here. Okay? Let's grade it. Because Mr. Ray not going to give you everything. All right, let's go to this problem. The sale price of every item in the store is 85 off its usual price. Okay, so I know sale 85% off usual price. So that means that whatever the usual price is, it's 85% off. Okay. So the usual price is $30. What is the sale price? Oh no, it's not off, it's of. Excuse me. That's why it's really good to read. That's why it's also good to double check your work. It's 85% of. So like basically whatever the total is, right? We're looking for 85%. So this will be the total. And what is 85% of the total? Okay. So let's look at that. So the total is 30. Total and percent. The total is $30. $30 is 100%. But we're looking for 85%. There's what's the multiplicative relationship between 185 is 5. 100 goes into 5 divided by 20, 30 over 20, or 3 over 2. And then to get from 5 to 85, I know to get from 5 to 20 is times 4. 20, 40, 60, 80, 4, 8, 12, 16 is 17. So it's times 17. So 30, 20, 30 over 20 times 17, or 3 over 2, because I just reduced it, times 17. 17 times 3, 51 over 2. 2 goes into 5 2 times. Remainder 1. 2 goes into 11 5 times. Remainder 1. 2 goes into 10 1 time. 25.5. So let's see if that's true. 3 times 17 divided by 2, 25.5. That is correct. Do you see how I'm using mental math to like determine this? I'm just using the calculator to double check my work. You need to be able to use mental math to help determine it so that you can really understand what's happening, but also you don't want to always, you're not always going to have a calculator. So you want to be able to mentally be able to understand what's happening. Um, so this lets me know that 85% is $25.50. So the total price was $30. 85% is $25.50. So what happened? I figured out the usual. Also, really quickly before we even go there, we also know that we're trying to figure out 85% of $30, which means we convert this into a decimal to 0.85 and multiply it by 30. And when we do that, 25.5. So you could also look at this. 85% of 30 is 25.5. So I just showed you two different methods. I had the usual price. Usual price. CFS would be turn percentage into decimal and multiply by total. You could also use that method to solve these two problems. But I also want to see how you use like some type of method, right? Some type of other representation so that you can know how to check your work. You see how I double checked my work and I was able to figure out the answer? This is graded and this is graded. A shopper needs, we worked on this problem, so I want to see what you can do on this problem. And I want to see what you can do on this problem. That's all I have for you today. The homework is due Wednesday. Have a good evening.